Everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving deep into the world of open source AI.
Exciting stuff.
It is. Specifically, we're looking at two rising stars, Mistral AI and DeepSeek.
Yeah, these companies are really shaking things up, taking on the big players with their own powerful language models.
Exactly. It's a fascinating rivalry. And for anyone interested in AI, it's important to understand what each brings to the table.
Absolutely. And that's what we're here for, right? To help you navigate this new landscape.
You got it. We're going to break down each company, their models, their strengths.
And most importantly, how all this translates to real-world applications.
Right. Because at the end of the day, it's about finding the right AI tool for your specific needs.
Couldn't agree more.
So where should we start?
Well, why don't we kick things off with Mistral AI?
Perfect. They kind of caught my eye,
Yeah.
with this whole speed demon image they're projecting.
Yeah, they're all about efficiency, speed, and this radical open approach.
That's what I find so intriguing. What's the story behind that?
Well, one of their biggest differentiators is their commitment to open source licensing, mainly using the Apache 2.0 license.
Oh, I've heard about that in the software world, but how does that apply to AI?
Think of it this way. It's like open sourcing the recipe for their AI models.
So anyone can see how they're made, tweak them, even build on them.
Precisely. It fosters transparency and collaboration, a real shift from the secrecy we often see in the AI industry.
That's pretty wild. It seems to align perfectly with their focus on efficiency, making their models lightweight and fast.
Absolutely. They're designed to run on less computing power, which is huge.
But how do they achieve that kind of speed? What's the magic trick?
Well, they use some clever techniques like quantization, which simplifies calculations without sacrificing too much accuracy.
So it's like compressing a file, but for AI, making it smaller without losing the important details.
You got it. And this efficiency translates to faster processing, lower latency, and ultimately cost savings, which is a big deal for businesses.
It is, especially when you think about real-time applications like chatbots or anything where speed is critical.
And speaking of applications, Mistral has different models to cater to different needs.
Right. I saw they have Mistral 7B, their flagship model, and then Mistral Small 3 and Mistral Large.
Each with its own strengths and ideal use cases.
So tell me, what makes each of these models stand out?
Well, Mistral 7B is kind of their all-rounder. It performs well on a variety of tasks like text generation, summarization, and even translation.
A jack of all trades, huh?
Yeah, you could say that. Then you've got Mistral Small 3, perfect for when you need something fast and efficient, but maybe not the full power of the larger models.
So like for a simple chatbot or maybe generating some quick content.
Exactly. Now, if you need to tackle more complex tasks, that's where Mistral Large comes in.
Ah, the big brother. What kind of things can it handle?
We're talking complex reasoning, code generation, analyzing large data sets, the heavy lifting.
Sounds impressive. But wouldn't you need a massive server farm to run something that powerful?
That's the surprising thing. With their focus on efficiency, you can potentially run these models on surprisingly modest hardware.
Wait, are we talking about running AI on a regular laptop?
Potentially, yeah. A high-end gaming PC or a powerful laptop could handle some of these Mistral models.
Wow, that changes everything. It makes AI so much more accessible.
Right. No more reliance on expensive cloud services.
So I can have powerful AI right at my fingertips. That's pretty awesome.
It really is. And it opens up a world of possibilities for individuals, smaller businesses, even integrating AI into everyday devices.
I'm starting to see why people are buzzing about Mistral. Speed, efficiency, open source, accessibility, they're really hitting all the right notes.
They are. But before we get too carried away, we can't forget about DeepSeek. They offer a completely different approach, and their strengths lie in very different areas.
Okay, yeah, DeepSeek. They're known for being the analytical powerhouse, right?
That's a great way to put it. If Mistral is the sports car, DeepSeek is the high-performance analytical machine.
I like that analogy. So with DeepSeek, it's all about depth and precision over pure speed.
Exactly. They specialize in those complex reasoning tasks, enterprise-level applications where accuracy is absolutely critical.
Interesting. And they have their own set of impressive models, right? Like DeepSeek R1 and DeepSeek V3.
You got it. Both are designed for deep analysis and understanding, but V3 takes things to a whole new level.
What makes DeepSeek V3 so special? Fill me in.
Well, remember how we talked about Mistral's focus on efficiency? DeepSeek prioritizes depth of understanding and context, and V3 boasts a massive 128K token context window.
Hold on, 128K tokens. That sounds like a lot, but I'm not sure what it means practically.
Imagine analyzing a legal case. You could feed DeepSeek V3 the entire case history, legal precedents, expert opinions, everything all at once.
So it's not just looking at snippets of info, it's understanding the whole picture.
Exactly. Like having an AI lawyer with perfect recall, able to connect the dots in ways humans might miss.
Wow, that's incredible. Where else would that level of contextual understanding be useful?
Think about analyzing massive financial reports, scientific papers, or even historical archives. Anything with tons of text and nuance.
So if you need an AI that can truly go deep, DeepSeek V3 seems like the tool to use. But is it only for big corporations with big budgets?
That's a common misconception. They do focus on enterprise solutions, but DeepSeek is surprisingly affordable, especially V3.
Really, for something that powerful, I'd expect it to be pretty pricey.
Their token pricing is very competitive, even compared to Mistral Large. It shows they're trying to make this tech accessible.
That's great news. So you don't need to be a Fortune 500 company to leverage the power of DeepSeek.
Not at all, and they're constantly evolving, especially in areas like Retrieval-Augmented generation or our RAG.
Okay, I've heard of RGing, but to be honest, I'm a little fuzzy on what it actually is. Can you explain it in simple terms?
Sure, imagine asking DeepSeek a question about a recent scientific discovery. With RAG, it doesn't just rely on its internal knowledge.
It goes out and finds more information.
Exactly. It can pull in data from research papers, databases, real-time news feeds, anything relevant.
So it's like having an AI that's constantly learning and updating its knowledge.
Precisely. Which is crucial in today's world, right? Where information is always changing.
This is all pretty mind-blowing. We've got Mistral, the speed demon, and DeepSeek, the analytical powerhouse. It's like a battle of the AI titans. So where do we go from here?
Well, now that we have a grasp of each company, the next step is to compare them head to head. Which one comes out on top? That's the real question.
Okay, I'm ready for the face-off. Let's see how these two AI giants stack up against each other.
All right, so are you ready to pit Mistral against DeepSeek? It's the ultimate AI showdown.
Let's do it. We've talked about each one individually, but now it's time for the real test. How do they actually compare?
Well, the first thing to remember is that there's no single winner. It really depends on what you're looking for.
Like, what are your priorities? What are you trying to achieve with AI?
Exactly. It's like choosing the right tool for the job. You wouldn't use a hammer to screw in a bolt, right?
Okay, so if speed and efficiency are my top priorities, I'm guessing Mistral takes the crown.
You got it. If you need something that can process information quickly, handle a ton of tasks, and be easily deployed across different devices, Mistral is your winner.
Makes sense. They're lightweight models, that open source approach. It all adds up to a very adaptable system.
But what if you're facing those really complex problems, the kind that need deep understanding, nuance? Wouldn't DeepSeek be better there?
Yeah, that's a good point, when accuracy is paramount.
Exactly. If you're analyzing huge amounts of text, drawing complex conclusions, or need super accurate code generation, DeepSeek's depth and precision are unmatched.
Okay, so it's not about one being better, it's about matching the AI to the task. But how do they actually perform, like side by side?
There are benchmarks, ways to measure this.
Uh-huh.
It's really interesting to see how their different approaches play out.
Tell me more.
Well, Mistral consistently scores high on general knowledge tasks and processing speed. They're like the sprinters of the AI world. Quick, agile.
Okay, and DeepSeek, where do they excel?
They shine in specialized tasks, especially things like complex reasoning, code generation. They might not be the fastest.
But they're thorough.
Exactly. Think of them as marathon runners.
Yeah.
They take a bit longer, but their endurance, their accuracy in those complex tasks is incredible.
So, if I need a quick answer to a general question, Mistral, for a tough coding problem, maybe DeepSeek is the better bet.
That's the idea. This also impacts their cost. Mistral, because it's so efficient, is generally more cost-effective for basic tasks.
But we talked about DeepSeek's V3 model being surprisingly affordable. Does that change things?
Absolutely. While Mistral might be cheaper for simple stuff, DeepSeek V3's token pricing makes it very competitive, even for demanding applications.
So it's not always a clear-cut cost difference?
No, it really depends on what you're doing, how complex it is, and the scale.
Makes sense. So if I'm dealing with tons of data, complex code, the cost difference might not be a deal breaker.
Exactly. And don't forget the infrastructure costs. Mistral's efficiency means you might not need as much computing power to run it.
Yeah, we talked about potentially running it on a laptop.
But DeepSeek, with its need to access outside information, might need a bit more setup.
So there are trade-offs to consider on both sides. Performance, cost. It's a balancing act.
But the great thing is, both companies are pushing the boundaries of AI, and they're both committed to open source.
Which is a huge deal in itself, right? That whole philosophy of open access.
Absolutely. Both Mistral and DeepSeek want to democratize AI, make these tools available to everyone, not just a select few.
But we did touch on how their approaches to open source are a bit different. Can you explain that a bit more?
Sure. Mistral, they're all about radical transparency. Their code is completely open. Anyone can contribute, modify, build on it.
It's like a true community effort.
While DeepSeek, they also believe in open source, but have a stronger focus on enterprise applications. They're transparent.
But maybe a bit more selective about how their models are used.
Exactly. So they're both part of the same movement, but with slightly different philosophies, different target audiences.
And both are contributing to the advancement of AI in their own ways.
It's fascinating to see how these different approaches play out. But after all this talk, what does it actually mean for someone trying to choose between Mistral and DeepSeek?
That's the key question, right? How do you actually make that decision?
It comes down to understanding your needs, your priorities. What are you trying to accomplish with AI?
What are your goals? What kind of tasks are you doing?
How important is speed, accuracy, cost effectiveness? These are all factors to consider.
Okay, can we make this more concrete? Like, let's say I'm a small business owner and I want to automate some customer service stuff. Would Mistral be a good choice for me?
It could be. Their speed and efficiency are perfect for things like chatbots. Quick responses, real-time interaction, and the open-source nature, plus the potential for running models locally. That could be really cost-effective for a small business.
Makes sense. But what about a scenario where accuracy is super important? Like, imagine a lawyer working on a big legal case. Would DeepSeek be better there?
Absolutely. DeepSeek's ability to process tons of text, understand complex arguments, pull in outside info, that would be incredibly helpful for legal research.
When even the smallest detail could make a huge difference.
Exactly. It's all about finding the AI that fits the job perfectly.
This has been a really interesting conversation. We've gone from speed demons and analytical powerhouses to real-world examples. It's been quite a journey.
And it's just the beginning. Both Mistral and DeepSeek are constantly evolving, adding new features, pushing the limits of what's possible.
Speaking of pushing limits, we've talked a lot about speed versus depth, but do you think future AI models could combine both, like have incredible speed and incredible depth?
That's a fascinating question. And honestly, I think it's definitely possible. Imagine an AI that can process information incredibly fast, but also has that deep understanding, the nuance.
It would be a total game changer. What kind of impact could that have on different industries, different fields?
The possibilities are mind-blowing.
Well,
We might see breakthroughs in things like drug discovery, where both speed and accuracy are essential.
or imagine using that kind of AI to analyze climate data, develop more accurate models, tackle climate change.
Exactly. From talking about speed demons and powerhouses to potentially solving humanity's biggest challenges, AI has come a long way.
It really has. And this deep dive has been a great way to explore the cutting edge of AI innovation.
It has been. And it's just the start. The AI world is full of surprises. I'm excited to see what happens next.
Me too. But for now, I think we've given our listeners a lot to think about.
Definitely. We've covered the strengths of Mistral and DeepSeek, compared their performance, their cost, even touched on the future of AI.
And we've highlighted how these tools can be used in the real world.
From automating tasks to tackling complex problems. And with open source development, these tools are more accessible than ever before.
So what's your final message for the listeners? What should they do after this deep dive?
Keep exploring. Check out Mistral AI and DeepSeek's websites, read their documentation, try out their models if you can.
Great advice. The AI world is constantly evolving, so stay curious and keep learning.
Absolutely. There's always something new to discover.
And be sure to stay tuned to the deep dive for more explorations into the world of AI. We'll keep you updated on all the latest developments.
Until next time.
Keep diving deep, everyone. So we've really gone deep, haven't we, into this world of open source AI, Mistral AI, DeepSeek, all these incredible tools.
It's been quite a journey.
It has. But before we wrap up, let's kind of try to bring it all together.
Yeah, good idea. Distill this all down, right? Into some key takeaways.
Exactly. What are the big things people should remember about Mistral and DeepSeek?
Well, the first thing, both of them, they're really leading the charge when it comes to open source AI.
Right, making this tech available to everyone, not just big tech companies.
It's a huge shift in the AI landscape.
It is. And we saw how they both offer, different models, different strengths for different needs.
Exactly. There's no one-size-fits-all in the AI world. It's about choosing the right tool for the job.
And with Mistral, it's all about, the speed demon aspect?
That's right. Speed, efficiency. perfect for those tasks where you need things to happen quickly.
Like those chatbots, right?
Ah,
Instant responses.
yeah.
Or summarizing a document in seconds.
Exactly. And remember how lightweight their models are? That makes them super adaptable.
Yeah, you can run them on all sorts of devices.
Now, DeepSeek, that's where you go for depth and precision.
Yeah.
They're the masters of those complex tasks.
The ones that need real understanding, nuance.
Exactly. Code generation, analyzing those massive data sets, anything where accuracy is absolutely key.
So for lawyers, researchers, anyone dealing with complex information, DeepSeek could be a game changer.
Oh, absolutely. And remember how they can access outside information with that RAG thing?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Constantly learning, updating its knowledge.
So it's like they each have their own superpower, right? Speed versus depth.
And they both believe in open source, making this tech more accessible.
Although their approaches to open source are a bit different, right?
Yeah, Mistral's all about, like, radical transparency. Anyone can contribute, modify their code, build on it. It's very community-driven.
And DeepSeek, they're a bit more focused on the enterprise side of things.
Still transparent, but maybe a bit more selective in how their models are used.
Makes sense. So when it comes to cost, I'm guessing Mistral usually wins because of its efficiency.
Generally, yes,
Yeah.
especially for those everyday AI tasks. But DeepSeek's V3 model is surprisingly affordable, too.
Yeah, we talked about that. For complex stuff, the cost difference might not be so huge.
Exactly. So it really comes down to, like we said before, what are your needs? What are your priorities?
Do you need speed? Do you need depth?
And the great thing is you have options.
That's what I love about all this. The AI world is constantly evolving.
And it's becoming more and more accessible thanks to companies like Mistral and DeepSeek.
Exactly. And who knows what's next? We talked about AI models that combine speed and depth.
Solving those big problems like disease, climate change.
It's incredible to think about.
The possibilities are truly mind-blowing.
They are. So this deep dive, it's really just the beginning of the journey, right?
Oh, absolutely.
There's so much more to explore, so much more to learn about AI.
And it's changing all the time.
That's what makes it so exciting. Well, thank you for joining me on this deep dive. It's been a fascinating conversation.
The pleasure was all mine.
And to all our listeners out there, thanks for tuning in. We hope you learned something new about Mistral AI and DeepSeek.
We encourage you to keep exploring. Stay curious.
The world of AI is waiting to be discovered.
And who knows? Maybe you'll be the one to create the next groundbreaking AI tool.
That's a great thought. Until next time, keep diving deep, everyone.